Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is April 30th, 2018, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day. So starting out early this morning, tentatively, RBA, Royal Bank of Australia, Governor Lowe will be speaking this morning, and that should have effect on the Aussie. Now, very importantly, a couple of major events coming up this week, including FOMC this Wednesday afternoon. I believe that's going to be at 2 p.m. South African time, and of course, non-farm payroll, as it is the first of the week for May. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's going to be on Friday. So two major events happening later on this week. But looking at the markets, it's been a little bit of a rotation in regards to the dollar getting a little bit stronger last week, as we saw oil selling off a little bit, and some of the commodities selling off a little bit, and the indices getting a little bit stronger. But let's take a look at the markets in general and see what's going on. So we're jumping here into the Euro USD, and we finally hit rock bottom here. Okay, 120.75, and that was a previous support level, as you can see here, previous resistance, subsequent support, and that's why it's really important to keep a, multi time frame graph just to refer back to it. Okay, so many of you have asked me some of the presentations that we give on the webinar, which time frame should I be looking for? So, even if you're a day trader and you're just normally looking at 1 to 15-day charts, okay, in such a situation like Friday, where we hit massive multi-level support or potential support, okay, as we have these previous resistances, you need to refer back to a longer time frame, in this case a daily chart. And sure enough, we bounced right off of this 120.75, as you can see, and we're just at this 121.30ish level. Now really, I think we'll be trading between this 120 and 122.18. Okay, I think that, going back to 125 is not going to be realistic, at least in the short term, but I do think that we're going to be correcting ourselves, a little bit, and jump from this 120-ish level. I think we're going to be trading between this 122 and 120-ish level until we see some sort of impetus up or down. Now, if we look at the GBP USD, still dead, okay? Didn't bounce at all, all right? We hit a support level at this 137, but really not bouncing. Okay, so this is a little bit disconcerting. And the question is whether or not it's going to continue breaking out further down, okay? Or is it just delayed and maybe anticipate a later bounce, okay, which could be the case as well. Really, the next support level, if we do breach this 137.30-ish level, I would say is 136. So keep that in mind, all right? So again, just in case if it doesn't bounce, it could be a decent short where it does go further down to 136. However, if it does bounce, it could definitely trade between this 137 and 138.90-ish level. Again, until we find some sort of impetus to, break it in the upside or downside. Looking at the USD Swiss franc, we had a beautiful breakout last week, and we discussed this as it broke this upper channel, going all the way up to 98.97-ish level, and now just retracing to 98.77. So the question is it going to sell off a little bit here? Could be that it will. Okay, I don't anticipate that it'll break back down to 97-ish level, but it's something to keep in view later today, as maybe traders start taking a little bit of profits off the table. Now jumping into the Aussie USD, still very weak versus the dollar. Okay, we're almost the lows of the year versus the dollars at 75.60, as you can see here. So this potentially could be a possible bounce as the week progresses, especially as we get to the FOMC and we get to non-farm payroll. Okay, the economy in the United States, we're going to get this in just a moment, but the economy in the United States has been pretty strong, and things are pushing the dollar a little bit higher because of the confidence in the dollar. And jumping into oil, as you can see, we sold off from our highs of 69 down to 67, but there's still a lot of demand for oil. Okay, and traders are talking that it'll hit $70-80 a barrel, and that could still be seen. So as long as we're holding this 67.44 level, okay, in anticipation that it'll continue week to week, that might be a possible entry point as the week progresses. Now jumping into the Dow Jones, we're almost back to where we were from last Monday, all right, before this debacle, 24,469. We're trading at 24,356. So we made a little bit of a comeback this past week from 23,700. So that's about 100 points a day since last week. Okay, so that's not so bad. Now we're still off of our all-time highs by 2,000 points. But altogether, okay, the economy in the United States, like I'm saying, is very strong. Now, a case in point of that, just to highlight that Amazon came out. Amazon, which is obviously the online retailer, one of the largest in the world, came out with quarterly reports, and things were, stellar reports. Everything was, in line and beat expectations. And sure enough, we gapped up. Okay, so you see the price gapping from 1515 to 1634, from $1,515 per share to 1,634. Now, we're looking like we want to close this gap. So the question is that are we going to continue selling off today to close this gap? But as you can see, the economy is still strong. Okay, and I believe that that's almost all-time highs, right? And we're right there at all-time highs when we're just selling off. So, looking at a weekly chart, this potentially could be a double top, or it could be something where we close the gap and then continue going up on the upside. So it'll be something I'd be looking for later today to see if this does follow through in closing the gap, or maybe down to 1550 and then bouncing on the upside. Now, we spoke about Facebook last week, and this is exactly what happened to Facebook. Also beat its earnings, okay, with new revenue, new subscribers, which is very encouraging for the stock, right? So for the price of the stock. So it bounced from 160, okay, gapped up to 176, okay, which is almost a $16 gap up. Imagine you had one share of it. All of a sudden, you're up $16 from just the morning trade, right? Not even doing anything. Now we sold off a little bit to 173, but still showing some strength here, all right? So if there's going to be buying and pressure on the upside, I'd look for that later today to push it up higher. So that may move the Dow Jones further up higher. Now jumping into the DAX, as we've seen last week, we're flirting at resistance here at 12,641. So when we are flirting with it several times, it does look like it wants to break out on the upside. Okay, although that we are in resistance, this is what I would be looking for today. If we do break up on the upside, we could definitely close it and go back to maybe the low 13,000 level. Okay, that's what I would be looking as the week progresses. So this is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.